Hey, it's been a little while. Not gonna waste any time talking about that though. Trying out a background slash sound dampening. We'll see. I don't know. I have a roommate. I don't want to bother her with my rambling, so we're gonna see how this works. So, as you may have gathered from the title of this video, I am 9 months on T, and I'm also about to turn 25. I hit 9 months on testosterone on the 21st, and I will be turning 25 on the 28th. My birthday is actually February 29th, but not a leap year, so I don't get a birthday. It's fine. So I thought, why not combine these two things and do a video about testosterone update 9 months in, and also just an opportunity for me to look back on 25 years of whatever the fuck I've been doing. So, first, just gonna go over what's been going on with my testosterone stuff. Like I said, it's been 9 months. Things are going well. My voice has definitely gotten lower. I've noticed it, other people have noticed it. I've had a couple times that people have told me that my voice wasn't lower, but those people were incorrect. It has absolutely gotten lower. I started getting a little bit of facial hair. You definitely cannot see it on the video because I shaved like yesterday. And even if I hadn't, you still wouldn't be able to see it. It's like super light, both in the amount and also the color. But I can kind of see it and I can feel it, so it has to go away now. So there has been some bottom growth. I don't want to talk about my genitals online though, so I'm not going to go into any details, but I will just say that there has been some, and leave it at that. We don't need to go further. So I have been getting hot so easily. Like, I overheat so freaking quickly. I've also been watching some other trans people's videos about their testosterone updates and stuff, and I heard one of them mention T-brain, which is not something I'd ever heard of until this video. But apparently, at least some trans masc people who are on testosterone experience like memory problems and stuff while they're on it. I don't know how legit that is, but I have been having some memory and basic cognition problems. But ironically, I can't remember if they started before or after I started on T, so it might just be my stupid brain, it might be testosterone, it might be a combination. I've mostly been just chalking it up to being tired, because I'm still working on getting my sleep schedule reasonable, and even when I do seem to have a good sleep schedule, or, good night of sleep, still just constantly tired. It's been mostly, like I said, basic cognition, rather than, straight up memory issues. Like, people have to explain things to me multiple times. But, whatever. We'll see. I'll probably mention it to my doctor next time I see her, which will hopefully be soon, so I can get a referral to top surgery doctor, because the one I already got didn't work out. It's fine, they just weren't looking for new patients, so. Anyway, back to the testosterone update. So that's like the specific physical changes, facial hair, bottom growth, voice changes. Talked a little bit about that mental one, but overall, mentally and physically, I've been feeling really, really good this year. I think it's a combination of being on testosterone and some other changes I've made in my life, like exercising regularly, which I have been doing every single day. It's awesome. I'm super proud of myself. So yeah, I've just been feeling really good. I think the fact that I just am on T, regardless of how it is actually affecting me, I think is really good for my mental health, and also I think the changes and everything like that, I think also are really helping me, so that's really cool. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. Being on T, going through my transition, changing my name, and other habits I've introduced, like exercising regularly, like eating better, have all led to me feeling great mentally and physically, and that's awesome because I don't always get to feel like that. So I'm really happy to get to generally have good days. So that's a T update. On to my life. I promise I'm not going to talk in super detail about my whole life, because like I said, about turn 25, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about, and I don't really want to get into all of it right now. But with the approach of my 25th birthday and the changes that I've been seeing on testosterone, and with other things that have been changing in my life, and discovery of some new parts of my identity, or new identities, new interests, I've just been really retrospective. I'm a kind of retrospective person in general. I do have anxiety and depression, and my dad has always joked that anxiety is constantly thinking about the future. worrying about what's going to happen, and depression is constantly worrying about the past, worrying about what has already happened. But I also have this other side of me that does look a lot at the past in a non-depression way. You know, kind of compare it to my current life, and not always in like a, oh, things were so much better before, or things are so much better now. Just kind of thinking about how things have changed, and I've been doing that a lot lately, as I tend to do, but especially a lot lately. The big question, I guess, that I really want to talk about in this video is, am I the same person I was when I was young? When I was 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or even 24. Am I the same person? And the answer to that is I don't really know. And also yes, and also no, and also sort of. There's not really a good answer to that, and I don't think that anyone ever can really have a solid answer to that, because it's just not how it works. Because obviously I have changed, like since I was 5. I'm different than I was when I was 5 years old. But I don't really know if I could say I'm a completely different person. I'm different, but I don't know if I'm a different person. It'll get into the whole existential thing of, you know, what makes you who you are, what are you, you know, is it your body, is it your thoughts, is it a combination, whatever, and I don't want to get into all of that, because I don't really have an answer to that question. But obviously I have changed. And obviously there are still similarities I have to my 5-year-old self, and my 10-year-old self, and my 15-year-old self, and my 24-year-old self. So yeah, although I have changed, and there are things that have changed, and things that I am no longer interested in, and new interests, there are also obviously a lot of things that haven't changed since I was a child. In addition to the interests that I've had over my entire life, there are also obviously other things that I have in common with who I was when I was 5. I have the same parents, I have the same siblings, I have the same birthday, I have the same birthplace. Those are all things that haven't changed. But, like I said, I also have a lot of new interests. And there are also a lot of interests that I don't really have anymore. And there are a lot of personality traits that are new compared to when I was a young child, and a lot of personality traits that I've lost from when I was a young child. So as a very young child, I was pretty social. I've been told I would talk to people just all the time. I'd talk to anybody. But throughout elementary school and middle school and high school, I was not. I was painfully shy. I was incredibly socially uncomfortable. I didn't want to be around a lot of people. I didn't want to be in front of people. Having to speak in front of a class or a group was basically the worst thing that could happen to me. Did not like it. And I still am a pretty introverted person. I really like my space, and I like having time to myself. But I also am really pretty good at talking to people now. I mean, I'm a host right now. I host at a restaurant, so that's what my job is talking with people. And not just talking with people, but talking with people when things are not going right. I also, when I was younger, cared a lot more about what people thought about me. I'm not saying I don't care at all what people think about me. And it definitely wasn't a thing when I was little. Like, when I was 5, I don't really think I cared. But when I was in middle and high school, I did. I cared a lot. And I don't know how much I realized that I cared a lot, but I did. I absolutely did. For example, when I was in high school, my fashion sense, I don't know what it would be, but it was not the same as other people at my high school. And I was able to stick with that fashion sense because I had a friend, my best friend, dressed very similarly. And so I wasn't alone. And I knew that, you know, if I was being judged, at least I would have someone else being judged alongside me. So it was fine. But I think, obviously I don't know, but I think that if I hadn't had her, my fashion sense probably would have stayed like it was in middle school and early high school, which was just very low-key, jeans and a t-shirt, don't draw any attention to myself. Instead, I wore things that did draw potential attention to myself. I wore very brightly colored and patterned skinny jeans and all that kind of stuff. Because that was what my friend and I liked to wear. And that was great, and I'm really glad that I did that, but I also can recognize that knowing myself and who I was back then, the fact that I had someone else doing it with me is probably the main reason I was able to actually do that. But now, I don't care as much. Sure, I care a little bit, and when it comes to gender things and how people are reading me and social gender dysphoria, that's a whole other thing. It does matter to me, unfortunately, how other people read me when I go out into the world. But I'm working on moving past that, and that's a thing I have come to accept. But apart from gender stuff, I don't care all that much what people think about how I dress and look, because I just want to dress the way that I want to dress. And that's a fantastic change, obviously. At least for me, I think it's a fantastic change. I go out to eat about once a week with my little brother, and it's great, and I have a really great time doing that. And I tend to wear makeup when I go out and do that, and I tend to, it's my, like, one time I go out that's not work, so I tend to do a little bit more and plan my outfit and stuff. And me in high school, or honestly even me 4 years ago, probably wouldn't. I would care a lot more about the fact that the way I was dressing maybe didn't line up with where we were going. We just go to a local diner. Or didn't really line up with how my brother was dressing. He tends to wear just, a plain colored t-shirt, gym shorts, and a jacket. And I'm doing makeup, and I do my hair, I wear something much, much brighter colored, or just a much more extreme, something like this. And in the past, that would have been a problem for me. I wouldn't have done that. But now, I don't care. And part of it is, I think I realized that no one else cares. Like, no one there is really judging me or thinking about me. They're just there to enjoy their own breakfast. But also, even if they are, it brings me joy to dress this way and to do my makeup. So that's what I do. I also am pretty good now about just embracing and doing the things that make me happy, regardless of what other people are going to think about them, because it's not about them. It's about me. One other kind of specific example of that is I started shaving my eyebrows recently, and I've had some people, namely my mother, not like it and tell me that she told me specifically that I should not do it again and I should just let them grow back. And in the past, that would have really been a problem. I probably would have listened to her, I would not continue shaving my eyebrows, and I would have felt really shitty. But instead, I didn't. I was just like, okay, well, I like it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And I didn't even have a moment of like, I don't like hearing that. I just was like, whatever, fuck that, it's my face, I'm gonna do what I want. And that's awesome. And I feel it both makes me feel good to do a thing that I like, but also to have that attitude feels really good compared to how I've reacted to things like that in the past. So, feeling great about that. I've changed a lot in 25 years, and I've also not changed that much in 25 years. And I think that's just kind of how it is for everybody. And I'm really glad that I can't answer the question, am I the same person I was when I was 5? Because I'm really glad that I have changed, and I'm also really glad that I can still find parts of that little 5-year-old in myself. So yeah, I have been on this earth for 25 years. I've been on testosterone for 9 months, and both of those things have brought a lot of changes, and a lot of challenges, and a lot of wonderful things. And on that overly philosophical note, I'm going to end the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy, to the best of your ability, any changes that are coming. I'm not going to make any promises about making videos more frequently, but I'm sure there will be some, because changes are coming and I want to document them. Bye, y'all.